Hello. Today we're going to move beyond the excitement and marketing claims about AI in education to focus on something crucial. How do we actually know if AI is working? This session is based on recent Ofsted research with 21 early adopter schools and colleges who've been using AI for over a year. What they've learned about measuring impact and the challenges they've faced will help you approach AI evaluation more strategically. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll explore practical frameworks for assessing AI's real impact on teaching, learning, and school operations. Let's start with some honesty. Despite all the excitement about AI in education, there is currently little reliable evidence available of AI's actual impact on educational outcomes. The Ofsted study found that most early adopter schools were measuring success through whether teachers found AI useful, not whether students learned more effectively. One school leader said that they had steered away from hard measurements of AI and its impact. They felt that this kind of accountability measure could potentially restrict staff from using and experimenting with AI. This isn't a criticism. It reflects how challenging it is to isolate AI's impact when so many factors affect learning. But it does mean we need to be more systematic about evaluation if we want to move beyond the hype. Most schools are currently evaluating AI the way they might evaluate a new photocopier, by asking if people use it and like it. The Ofsted research found that leaders relied mainly on staff and student feedback, or tracked and monitored staff usage of AI tools, rather than collecting data that could be used to measure the impact of AI specifically on pupils. They used low-stakes quizzes and tests to assess knowledge retention, but it wasn't always possible to evaluate whether any impact was due to AI rather than other factors like pupils' prior knowledge or teaching approach. One leader honestly admitted, "You can't really measure how much it's moved learning forward, but what you can do is measure some qualitative aspects of what it's doing for the children in terms of their teaching and learning." This creates a risk that we adopt AI tools based on excitement rather than evidence. Success in AI implementation isn't one-dimensional. The early adopters helped us understand that we need to measure success from multiple perspectives. For leaders, success was linked to having a coherent approach to introducing, using, and embedding AI across their organisation. As one leader put it, success at the early stages of their AI journey was seen through the eyes of those using it. A positive impact was when they felt it was a useful tool and did what they wanted it to do. For teachers, real success was when AI genuinely saved time for the human bits of education. One secondary school principal explained, "We just want to redistribute where that time is. So those admin staff at the front, I'd rather them not spend 2 hours spell checking a policy or changing dates. I'd rather them be proactively chasing poor attenders, making phone calls, doing home visits, doing the human bits." But ultimately, success must mean better learning outcomes for students. I want to give you a practical framework for thinking about AI evaluation, the impact framework. This draws on what we learned from schools that got evaluation right. Implementation quality asks whether AI is actually being used as intended, not just installed. Measurement systems focus on having robust data collection methods. Pupil outcomes is the ultimate test. Are students learning better? Adaptability evidence examines AI promise to personalised learning. Critical thinking measures whether AI is developing or undermining students' analytical skills. Finally, teacher professional growth asks whether AI is enhancing or de-skilling educators. Each element provides a different lens for understanding AI's true impact. Let's start with implementation quality, because you can't measure impact if AI isn't being used effectively. Don't just count logins. Look at meaningful usage patterns. One assistant head teacher told researchers that the top categories their teachers used in their AI tool were help me write. Number 2, slideshow. Number 3, model a text. Number 4, adapt a text. Number 5, lesson plan. And number 6, resource generation. This gave leaders clear insight out to how the AI was actually being used versus how they intended it to be used. Look for evidence of thoughtful use. Are staff creating specific prompts or just accepting whatever AI produces first? The early adopters emphasised the importance of prompt engineering training. As one AI champion said, "If you put junk in, you'll get junk out." Warning signs include teachers either avoiding AI entirely or becoming over-dependent. One leader worried about teachers becoming less aware of the students and their work when AI handled marking. Effective evaluation starts before you implement AI. You need baseline data to compare against. The Education Endowment Foundation found that ChatGPT could save teachers time spent on planning and administration by 31%, which was equivalent to 25 minutes per week. But this is only possible because they measured time spent on these tasks before introducing AI. Don't just collect data, collect meaningful data. Instead of asking, "Do you like AI?" ask specific questions like one school did in their termly pupil survey. Did you see the purpose of AI? How are subjects using AI? And do they see any impact from using AI? Several early adopters tracked usage of individual AI tools and surveyed students and teachers about their use of AI twice a year. This helped with assessing where they were on their AI journey and what impact it was having. Here's where it gets challenging. Measuring actual learning impact. The early adopters used low-stakes quizzes to test knowledge retention, but many struggled to prove AI was the cause of any improvements. One primary school saw improvements in students' metacognitive skills after introducing an AI chatbot, but they measured this through observation and student reflection rather than formal assessment. We need to be particularly careful about what researchers call illusions of learning, where students produce more content but understand less deeply. If AI helps a student write a better essay, did they learn more about writing, or did AI just produce better output? The key is measuring genuine skill development, not just improved products. One of AI's big promises is personalisation, but we need to evaluate this claim carefully. The Ofsted research highlighted a crucial concern. Adaptations can be ultimately unhelpful if they create workarounds rather than addressing underlying barriers. For example, if AI consistently provides easier texts for struggling readers, are we helping them progress or creating a ceiling? One college used AI to translate materials for Syrian students learning English. Excellent support. But they also tracked whether students eventually accessed materials in English, ensuring the adaptation was a bridge, not a permanent crutch. Look for evidence that personalisation leads to growth, not just comfortable stagnation. This is perhaps the most important evaluation area. Is AI making students better or worse thinkers? The research shows this can go either way. One primary school found that students became much better at asking specific, purposeful questions after using an AI chatbot. A genuine critical thinking skill. But other research warns about over-reliance weakening students' ability to engage deeply with material. Test students' thinking skills without AI access. Look at the quality of the questions they ask about AI responses. Are they becoming more discerning consumers of information or more passive acceptors? One school noticed students initially accepted AI-generated images of doctors that were all white and male until teachers helped them develop critical observation skills. We must evaluate whether AI is making teachers more effective or creating concerning dependencies. The early adopters were clear that AI should enhance, not replace, teacher expertise. Another leader expressed concern about teachers becoming less aware of students' work when AI handled marking. But others found AI freed teachers to focus on complex pedagogical decisions and relationship building. Look for evidence that teachers are using AI strategically while maintaining their professional judgment. Are lesson observations showing improved teaching quality? Are teachers becoming more creative with freed up time? Most importantly, are teachers still the driving force behind educational decisions, with AI as a sophisticated tool rather than a replacement? Let's finish with concrete actions you can take. This month, establish baseline measures for anything you're planning to enhance with AI. Don't wait until after implementation to start measuring. Choose 2 to 3 indicators from our impact framework that matter most to your context. You don't need to measure everything immediately. One school leader mentioned using a pre-mortem approach, imagining AI implementation had failed and working backwards to identify what could go wrong. This helped them plan better evaluation systems. This term, set up a simple comparison method. Track classes using AI against those that aren't, or compare teacher workload before and after AI adoption. Gather both numbers and stories. Quantitative data tells you what's happening. Qualitative feedback tells you why. Most importantly, be prepared for mixed results. AI might work brilliantly for some tasks and poorly for others. The goal isn't to prove AI is wonderful. It's to understand when, how, and for whom it's genuinely beneficial. That honest assessment will serve your students far better than any glowing testimonial. Thank you. And remember, in education, evidence always trumps enthusiasm.